What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Yes, I am still wearing the same thing that you just seen in my last video. I'm still out here in the shop. Why am I still out here in the shop? Well, about to do some work on my Remington model, not Remington model, crap. My Remington rifle. It's my rifle that I use for deer hunting. We're about to mount a new scope. We are about to put the EOTech VudoX. This is it's an awesome looking, it's one of their lower level optics. I bought this one specifically for my deer hunting rifle. I don't plan on trying to put this on any other kind of rifle setup. It's just going on this gun and it's going to stay. When I bought this rifle, it was a rifle combo with this scope on it, and I'm not trying to say anything. The scope is great. I mean, it's got good clarity, but it was just your regular run-of-the-mill scope. I don't even know what the name brand of this scope is. So here in the last few years, I've been running EOTech product on my AR-15 as well as my pistol. So I wanted to stick with the EOTech brand on my other gun setups. So we're going to mount my new EOTech on there. This has taken me a while because the EOTech scope is a lot bigger than the other scope. And so I had to go get new scope rings. The size of those scope rings would not fit on the base that's already on the gun. So I went out to Wildman Arms and Bryant. Shout out to Wildman Arms. And they helped me out getting me some new rings to put on here. So we're going to put the rings on, and then we're going to mount the scope, and I'm going to show you guys how I'm going to mount this scope. So come along and let's get this done. Alright guys, so here's my gun set up. I've got it set up in my Tipton gun vise. Excuse my workbench. It is a mess. And I kind of like it that way, because it's kind of my chaos, my controlled chaos. So please excuse the mess. So I got my Wheeler leveling set or leveler set that I'm going to use. So you have this part of the leveler to level out when you're mounting a scope. This one will attach to the barrel of the gun. So I don't know if you guys can see what I'm doing here. So you want to unscrew Alright, you want to unscrew that so you can clamp this onto the barrel of your gun. This is going to help you to see if your gun itself is level, so that way when you actually put your scope on there, you know whether or not your scope is going to be leveled based on if your rifle was canted at all. So I have to get in front of you guys real quick. Okay, so I think I've got that on there leveled out. Then you have this leveler right here. This is the one that you will actually set on top of the scope as you're mounting it to make sure that your scope is leveled. So you're going to use this as a reference, and then you're going to set this on top of it like so, and it'll let you know whether or not you're level. Okay, so what I just did there, that's actually magnetic. So what I just did right there was when I set this on the base, it was telling me whether or not the gun was level, which then told me that this was not level. So by doing that, I was able to get my leveler set up to show its level based on that. Now I'm going to put my rings. I'm going to be putting these Leopold open range cross slot rings. I don't have iron sights on this gun. It didn't come with iron sights, so I don't need those see-through sights where you're able to look under your scope and use your iron sights. So okay, so this doesn't really matter which ring you put where. So I'm just gonna grab and go. And it does give you your torque specs. So always use your torque specs on when you are mounting your stuff. Okay, so it comes with this little Allen wrench. If you'll notice, this side is for the screws that attaches to the base, and then this side is for your screws on your rings. So I'm just going to go ahead and take this and just open it all the way up and take the top ring off. Okay, also, guys, while you're doing this, make sure you follow all of your stuff. If when you're mounting things to your firearms, if it says to add thread locker on your to your screws, add the thread locker. If it tells you don't add thread locker, don't be that person to say, well, I put thread locker on everything, and so you do it. You can mess it up to the point where you have to use something different than the torque specs that's listed on the instructions, and you could cause damage, strip your screws or whatever, and now you have to go get more screws to actually mount your stuff. So follow the directions as written. Don't be that person to say, I always do it this way, so that's what I'm going to do. Okay? Okay. Okay, just 1 second, guys. I'm going to pause real quick, and I promise you I'll be back in just a flash. And we are back. Okay, so I was just trying to look at this thing to figure out, is there a certain way? Because on the bottom of this, you see the screw on this side, and then it's got the little Leopold logo. I was just trying to make sure, whether or not it matters what side that you put that on. So it doesn't look like it. So I'm going to go ahead and put it to where the Leopold is going to be on the right side of the gun. So, which will make it easier for me screwing this down, seeing how the way my setup is. So now the other thing I have to think of is this front ring. Do I want it back here on this first slot or a little bit forward? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just go ahead and mount it right there. See what that looks like, and if I like it right there, and then I'll change it. Yes.
Where are you?
I'm outside in the shop. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I got a phone call. So I think I'm going to leave it like that. Let's see here. I guess I need to go ahead and mount this one as well to see. I want it right there. Well, okay. Now we'll see what my scope will look like. Or is that going to interfere with? Move that back up there. Yeah. I might be looking at right. So I think I'm going to go with it right there. I think that's where I'm going to put it. Okay, so what I'm going to go ahead and do now is tighten these down. And then I will get my torque screwdriver and torque it down to the listed torque specs. Okay, so and this says 45 inch-pounds. one's done. Okay, now that we've got that one done, so you place your rifle scope on the rings, on the ring bottoms, loosely assemble the ring tops. So now that way we can make sure we have it leveled. So get it on there. Make sure you have it in the right spot. My scope, if I scoot it up anymore, it's sitting on the base here. So I'm going to make sure that I've got room for that. And I got to make sure it's not going to interfere when I try to make my adjustments. So I would say about right there is where I want that. Okay, put my rings on. Drop those screws in there real quick. Okay, now I just did that little bit right there. Okay, had to change batteries on you guys. Sorry. So now I've got that set up. So now I'm going to take my leveler here and set it on there and turn the scope. Okay. All right, I got it level. Now I need to try to tighten these down. So you have to be very careful when you do this so you don't do what I just did and hit your leveler and possibly knock it off. And what I did was a cross pattern on the screws. So that way you don't get one side too tight before you get the other side and your mounts are off. So right now I'm just screwing these down, just getting them snug. And then I will get out the torque screwdriver again and actually torque these down to the right specs. And one of the reasons that you want to torque these down to the right specs is so that way you don't tighten your screws too tight and you end up crushing your tube, which can cause damage to your reticles and your optic, and now you just wasted your money. So if you're not sure how to do this, please take this stuff to a gunsmith and let them do it. Okay, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now that was for the base. see something real quick. I want to check the eye relief on this. Real quick, I'm just going to do it this way. Actually like where that's at right there. So I might, with it slid all the way back like that, well, that might get in the way a little bit. Probably should have got some mediums to lift that up just a little bit. Okay. I'm going to put you back down in there. Alright. So the eye relief on this is pretty good. Not worried about that. Okay. Now to screw those down, you need 28 inch-pounds. So I want to back that off from what I previously had it at. Okay, about right there is good. Did I get mediums? Oh, these are low. What in the hell? There's one click. Two clicks. There's a click. Ooh, and there's a click. So those are all done. Click there. Click there. Click there. Click there. All right. And I've now got my new scope mounted. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to go ahead and put this out there. I might be taking those scope mounts back just for the simple fact these are low. I probably should have got the mediums to lift this up a little bit, because if you can see right here when I go to work the bolt, I don't know if you guys will be able to see this. I'll do it this way. This kind of hits a little bit on the bottom of my scope right there. I don't think it'll be too big of a deal for me, but it's just it shouldn't be too big of a deal. So I'm probably not going to go do that, guys. I'm probably just going to rock with these. But there we go. Scope is mounted. And that's how you mount a scope to your rifle. So, sorry I had so many pausing moments in the video, guys. I apologize for all of that. But that's basically how you mount a scope to a rifle. I am obviously not a professional. However, I do know how to do this. And I do it on my guns. If people trust me enough to do their guns, I will. However, I strongly recommend and highly recommend, if you don't know what you're doing, you don't know how to do this, take your gun to a store. I know Bass Pro Shop, Academy Sports. Here in the central Arkansas area in Bryant, we have a store, Wildman Arms. You can bring your guns into them and they will mount your stuff for you. So, thanks for tagging along with me, guys, while I did that. If you guys got any kind of questions or anything like that, please, please, please leave a comment. If you like the video, smash that thumbs up button. Drop down there, hit the subscribe button. Make sure you click on the notification tab. Click on all. So every time I put out my videos about my guns or my fishing or whatever, you guys will be notified about it first. Again, drop comments down there. And thank you guys for tagging along. And I got to get out of here. I got some things to go do. But till the next time, guys, stay good, stay straight. Jesus, stay straight. That was a horrible closing. You know what? Merry Christmas. See you guys in Great Outdoors.